December 18th, 2023. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using the NinjaTrader 8 platform. This is what the chart looked like today. Price action was very slow today. There was no piece of economic data that came out to really move the market, but overall it was a very slow, very grinding rally up. A lot of these candles took quite a while to close, like 3 to 4 minutes. I only saw, well, I took 2 trades today. One was a winner and one was a loser. I'll go through them pretty quickly. There wasn't very many setups, and the setups that were there, they just didn't feel very strong. So I'm going to get to the trades right now. This could be the fact that the holiday season is coming up, so volume and price action has been very slow. So this is the pre-market highs and the pre-market lows. I'm going to shortly delete this red channel and this yellow channel, but it is pertinent to this setup here. So in the pre-market, you can already tell with how many candles are printed that it's going to be rather slow. And on the market open, the first channel that I find is potentially this yellow one, where I had this as a potential trend line support, but I couldn't really see where the top was because depending on if you touched the bottom here or here, you could have come up with any number of upward trend channels. And so price is open. This is a new high here. It's the first entry long, second entry long. I didn't really like this as an entry just because this is a doji candle. You do have just enough room to get out. Let's see. Yeah, you about 5 ticks to get out, but it felt really risky. And this, at the time being, I'm thinking it's a trading range. So I'm thinking prices might come back down. Left it alone. Prices start moving up. And so I'm just watching and waiting. Technically, I have a new high here. It's first entry long, second entry long. Same thing, it's another doji candle, but it's below the EMA. Had to leave it alone. Falls in this consolidation area, kind of trends up. So here I kind of made my bottom of my yellow channel fit. So I'd have 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. Now I'm just watching and waiting. The top, I just kind of had it roughly right here. And as prices are moving up, I'm thinking there's a smaller channel that this price seems to be fitting in pretty well. The top here, and then the bottom kind of fits roughly like this. Prices continue moving. It's just clearly in a bullish trend, but it's not moving very quickly. Comes up, and this is actually where I see my first setup and why I actually had these 2 trend lines drawn. So I saw a new high here, and it resets the count here. So you have a first entry long pullback, second entry long here, confirmed second entry long. You also have a new low. The first entry short pulls up, creates a second entry short, and here your second entry short fails. So this could be a bounce off of also this yellow channel going up and this red channel going up. But I wasn't too confident that, things weren't fitting nicely in either channel completely. But it is 2 key entry points, 2 setups. Now the failed second entry failed second entry short, it's a little iffy. So if I were to enter, I would have put it 1 tick above this original doji signal bar, but it's not a very clean bar. Looked like it would have worked, but of course you don't know that in real time. So I looked back, kind of debated back and forth, and I think it probably was worthwhile trade, or it was a worthwhile trade, because this candle here is about 6 ticks, so it's about 8 ticks of risk. But I didn't take it and I just left it alone. Prices then continue moving up. So here I'm thinking, I'm not sure that this red channel is actually valid anymore. It just kind of looks like it's not clean, so I want to go ahead and get rid of it. Prices then fall down and move in this green channel. Starts bouncing, and I'm thinking maybe there's a bigger purple channel at this point. So I drew this as a placeholder, purple one. I'm going to get rid of this yellow one now. So I'm working off this purple one at this point. Prices move up, it goes up into this orange channel, and this is actually where I see my first setup. So I see a new low here. Technically, the new low is here. If you even took it here, it'd be first entry short, second entry short. You can restart your count here. But I grouped it all as one low right here. I said this is actually a first entry short, pulls up, engulfs this entire candle, creates a second entry short. Now, second entry short, if you took a short here, it's pretty risky because clearly the trend is bullish. But here I'm wondering if it's going to be a failure. So when this started forming and it started bouncing around, it was holding pretty strong. So I took a risk It's a little bit riskier of a trade, and I entered one tick above, and I was just looking to get out right at the top. Flashes around, and it completes my trade. But I want to point out that this wasn't the best setup. I did debate that since this is the break of the orange channel, it is one push up. And so it might be pulling back and create a second push up. But when it made the one push up, it didn't hit the extreme yet. So I was admittedly a little bit early on this trade, and I probably should have left it alone. Then consolidates. It gets very ugly here. Price action is really, really slow now. It comes up, it touched the top of the purple trend line. So I'm thinking, okay, prices are clearly moving this purple trend line. I'm thinking it's going to come back and test the bottom. Creates a first entry long, pulls back. Here it creates a second entry long. At the time, the way I was thinking is the EMA is holding. Since here it broke up, it touched once, it's holding. Touched the second time, it's holding. I saw a measured move. One leg down, pull back, second leg down. So here I was thinking it might make another push up enough for 1 point. However, I didn't take into account that it touched the highs, the top of this range, so it probably wants to meet the other side. I had this green channel drawn, and I didn't take into the consideration that it might hit this as a potential resistance. But even though it is 2 pushes up, it's hard for me at the time to see that why wouldn't it want to push a little bit more just for a quick scalp. It clearly doesn't. It starts to struggle, and then it stops me out. Stops me out, then ticks and continues moving. The funny thing is this candle is 1 tick above, 1 point above my entry. So it's debatable whether if I was able to hang in, would I have gotten the fill. If an overshoot comes back down. And in hindsight, this trade, it should have been probably avoided because it's a little mixed on what I was seeing because this signal bar isn't very good. It's a red signal bar. It is bullish, and it did close above the EMA. Ideally, it would have been a bullish bar, green, and I would have felt more confident taking a trade. If it was, most likely I still would have gotten stopped out, but this one was at least an indication to me that I probably should have just sat tight and waited. And then prices continue moving. I see a higher low here. This higher low, maybe it was a possible trade because the green channel has played out, broke, made a new low. Now it's 1 push up, and it could be starting a second push up. This is a very strong close. But what was kind of holding me back was at 1 point, I'd have to get this 97.25, which is again right here. So I'd be hoping that it pushes through this high point. Prices then continue moving, pops around. I see another setup. But here's this interesting thing, right? This happened at 9:43. This happened at 10:17. This is 30 minutes of price action. And over here, it's 8:26. And this is all the way over here, almost a full 3 hours. This price action that you get those 3 hours. So that gave me a lot of confidence that there were too many setups or going to be too many setups, especially when this happened at so late in the day. This is a new low, first entry short, second entry short. It hasn't failed yet, and is a new high, first entry long, pullback, creates a second entry long, and also confirms the failed second entry short. It's a good signal bar for the second entry long, but when you see this bar close, it should give you pause because you don't know if there's some kind of resistance here that might push prices back down. And I wasn't really confident about this setup. Plus, the price action is really slow. If you look at the timestamp, this is 4 minutes per candle. It takes 4 minutes for each of these candles to close, so it clearly is really, really slow. Then it comes up, touches the top. I'm watching to see if it comes back, touch the bottom of the purple. It kind of bounces around, and here it's just kind of really, really slow. At this point, I have 1 win and 1 loss, and I think I was just kind of wrapping it up in my mind that just watching these things crawl along, and sometimes the candle would print, but it wouldn't move because it's a 2000 tick chart. So we're just waiting for something to happen, and it took forever. Price then dropped down, almost comes down to touch the purple. Finally, it does, and it breaks through. I don't really see any entries that I like, and this is too late in the day. I just want to point out from here to regular market hour closing, this is 11, let's say about 11:15. So this is 1 hour and 45 minutes of price action. Even with the last 10 minutes being supposedly super volatile, it was just a very, very slow day. No real trades. In hindsight, I should have, this trade was a little iffy. And this trade definitely should have given me pause, but this easily could have been a no trade day because there wasn't really anything happening today. So I don't know if tomorrow will be the same. And if tomorrow kind of demonstrates the same very slow price action, I might just consider taking the rest of well, maybe the rest of the week off. And then between Christmas and New Year's, I anticipate the price action also to be very slow, except for maybe for the last couple days when people are selling out their winners. People might be rolling over, collecting, I guess, tax loss harvesting, but I'm not really sure. But today was definitely kind of a really slow, junky day. So hopefully that was helpful.